Hello everybody and welcome to another Starfield ship build tutorial. Special thanks to the individuals that asked me to make a smuggling ship. I didn't want to copy the dozens of Millennium Falcons that people have already made, so here's my take on a smuggling ship. Like my other ship builds, the ship is made in the A class, as to make it to where anyone of any level could build the ship. I also took a bit more time including features in the ship that people have been asking for, so hopefully this ship guide is even easier to follow and hopefully everyone likes the ship even more. That's going to be all for the introduction, so let's hop into the video. Now as we slice up the ship, from some people's advice, I'm going to go over all of the ship's information. The ship's stats in this format give it 26 power, 390 shields, 769 hull, 2180 cargo space, 4 crew slots, 23 light years of jump range, a ton of fuel but the game doesn't measure that for some reason, 93 mobility, 150 top speed, with a mass of 1091. All of the parts in this ship are in the A class, and only a few parts require the ship's design skill. Now those stats are what the shipbuilder says, but the ship actually flies way different. Boost speed is around 600 and it flies at a cruise speed of like 280. It can jump around halfway across the map, and I'm honestly not sure why they don't include the fuel for the jump range, but that's everything for the main stats. Now this ship build does cost around 160,000 credits to construct, so it is pretty expensive, but hopefully it's not too expensive for you to be able to construct this relatively early in the game. Like before, all the parts used in this build are either purchased from Deimos Yard or Akila City, so while I go over the parts, I'll show the gameplay of tracing the ship so you know where the parts go in the background. All parts that must be purchased from Deimos Yard are as follows: 1 Phobos cockpit, 4 320 Charlie Bravo landing gear, 4 Deimos Skeg A's, 4 Spine A's, 4 Spine D's, 2 Spine B's, 2 Spine C's, 1 Cowl, 3 1x1 Deimos companionways, 1 1x1 storage, 1 2x1 workshop, 2 2x1 control stations, 1 3x1 living quarters, and lastly, 1 Docker top. The parts required from Akila City are 2 Stroud nose cap C's, 3 Taiyo side cap B's, 1 Bastille S81 shield generator, 1 Tokamak X250 reactor, and 1 Stability Pro landing bay. The remaining parts of the build can be purchased at either location, so it doesn't matter whether you want to be at the Deimos Yard or you want to be at Akila City. These parts include 2 Galleon S202 cargo holds, 2 M30 Ulysses helium tanks, 2 weapon mounts, 2 portholes, all 4 weapons. I chose specifically 2 proton lasers as well as 2 cannons, the 1 Helios 400 grav drive, and then 4 White Dwarf engines. Before getting to the rest of the build, I just want to go over swappable parts. There are a lot of modules that you can put on ships like reactors, grav drives, habitats, weapons, or shield generators that can be swapped out without really changing much of the visual of the ship. With that, if at any point you want to change the configuration of the ship or switch out any of the modules, please feel free to do so. The whole purpose of this video is to make it to where we finally get ships that we actually enjoy flying around. So the last thing I would want is to make it to where you have to use specific modules. They're purely just for suggestion, and I just want you to enjoy the video. The way I placed the habs was basically just in a small H as seen here. 3 interconnected companionways followed by control stations on either side. One side is a 3x1 living quarters and the other one has a 2x1 workshop and a storage room at the end, purely because this felt more realistic, especially in terms of what a ship would realistically have on a smuggling ship. Now I know from a functional perspective, this wouldn't actually do anything in the game, so feel free to swap out for whatever module you would like. I purely made it off of immersion perspective, so this just had a good feel to it. Overall, the pathing feels great and there isn't really any hiccups, especially when the dock and the exit from the landing bay goes straight into one companionway and there's only one ladder in the entire ship. Now in order to make sure you have all the parts, I'm just going to give you a few small clips here so that you can make sure you have them in the right layers, right positions, without taking too much time in the video. Now we can finally get to the part where we actually get to put the layers together. What you'll notice if you're trying to put this ship together as it is now, it's going to be difficult because there's a few places in the ship that can't actually go together unless you use a couple workarounds. For the order of putting things on the ship, I would recommend putting the cockpit as the very first thing you place on the ship, because once you try and put the helium tanks as well as the cargo containers, it's not going to go on, and that's where the workaround comes in. Select one of the containers and lock it onto one of the walls. Now grab the other container and lock it facing the the opposite direction directly above the first container. Select the container, move down, flip the container, and now deselect. Select it again and flip it 3 times for you to have a green hitbox and lock it in with select. Now select the cowl and place it over the cargo containers. Then go and grab the helium tanks, and this one's much easier. All you have to do is put it on the lock joint, showing up the red hitbox, and flip it a couple times and then cancel the selection. That will immediately lock it into place and it will work for both sides. The design leaves you with this kind of ominous look, almost bounty hunter mixed with smuggler. The wings overhanging the cockpit, especially when you're in it and flying the ship, it looks pretty interesting, especially with all the weapons right in the middle. Like I said, I personally chose a deep gray and a few accent colors because I felt that was more like a smuggler feel to me, but if you guys want to change up whatever you like, I'd love to see your guys' designs as well as concepts that you guys come up with. Okay, wow, that was a lot. Sorry for the long video. There's a lot of things people asked me to cover, so hopefully I got everything. Thanks again to everyone who asked me to make a smuggler ship. Hopefully it came out alright, and it's not too difficult to make this time. Based on requests, the next ship is either going to be a battleship, a video game themed ship, or a movie themed ship. Let me know which one you guys would like to see next. I just want to finish off by thanking everybody that's been helping me and giving me feedback. I'm trying to make the videos better, and hopefully you guys can tell, but it's taking quite a bit of work and I wasn't expecting it. Honestly, one of the funnest parts is reading all the comments and seeing what people say. This is all pretty new to me, so the support really is helping me a lot. I hate to ask this, but I'd appreciate it if you guys liked or shared the video, as well as subscribed. That way hopefully more people can see this content so they don't have to fly in those stock ships. That all being said, thanks again for watching the video. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time.